Okay, so I have to be honest with you guys. I had no intention of making a video about this small North Idaho town. Never have I had anybody reach out over the phone or email asking me questions about it. And personally, I have not spent a ton of time there. With Sandpoint just right across the bridge, why would I spend a bunch of time in Sagle, Idaho? But after looking at the numbers, I realized we have had quite a few clients that were looking in Coeur d'Alene and they were looking in Sandpoint that ended up buying a property in Sagle, Idaho, which made me scratch my head and think, why would you skip over Coeur d'Alene and Sandpoint? Those are the best areas, right? Well, I decided it was time to make a video, do a bunch of my research as I do, and I think you're gonna agree by the time you're done watching this video that Sagle, Idaho might just be the best kept secret in this area. So, no more delay, let's get going. Hi everyone, and welcome to another hopefully wonderful episode of Living Life in North Idaho. My name is Trent, and I've been in this area for 30 years. And with that 30 years of experience, I've been traveling around this state, making videos about what it's like living, eating, working, playing, and buying real estate in this wonderful part of the country. So if that's something you are interested in, all you have to do is tap the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and what that's going to do is every time I come out with a new video, you're going to get notified. So let's talk about Sagle, Idaho. Like I said previously in the video, I think this might just be one of the best kept secrets in North Idaho. I've been here 30 years. I've only been there a handful of times because Sandpoint and Coeur d'Alene and all these areas were so easily accessible, and they're awesome. That's where everybody was hanging out. But as I get older and this place is getting busier, I actually really prefer places like Sagle that are kind of off the beaten path a little bit, but still really awesome. But that's just me. I want to hear from you guys in the comments if after watching this video, you think Sagle is really just this wonderful gem like I think it is, or you're going, yeah, no, not for me. I love reading the comments in the comment section, so make sure you leave one for me after this video. So let's start with the name. What does Sagle mean? Well, if you take eagle and replace the E with an S, you get Sagle. Nathan Powell submitted a request for the post office to be called Eagle, Idaho. Then he found out there was already an Eagle, Idaho, and instead of coming up with a whole different name, he just thought, well, I'll just replace the E with an S. That is an absolutely true story. Personally, I think he should have just gone with Seagle, S-E-A-G-L-E, but apparently he didn't want to do that. Sagle works too. Now let's talk about where this beautiful town is in North Idaho. It is only 9 minutes south of Sandpoint, and it is 44 minutes north of Coeur d'Alene. It is right off of our main arterial highway, Highway 95, which makes it incredibly convenient to get to Sandpoint or Coeur d'Alene. Now, who would be a good fit for Sagle, Idaho? Like I said, we have had quite a few of our clients choose Sagle as the right place for them, but it is not for everyone. Sagle is an awesome place for people who love the outdoors. They like to be close to multiple bodies of water, different lakes and rivers. They like wildlife, and they like the snow. Most of our clients that chose to live in Sagle, Idaho were looking for one of two different types of properties. They either wanted the large acreage with a big house where they had room to grow their own food and play and go hunting and fishing with easy access, or they were looking for a really beautiful development that wasn't packed in with homes. You had some space between them, still gave that rural feeling, but didn't have the same maintenance requirements that some of these larger properties have. And all of our clients wanted to be close to a major town, but just far enough outside that it felt really rural, but you didn't have to drive an hour to go get your groceries. That is exactly what Sagle is like. But again, it's not for everyone. I think we need to go over the pros and cons. Now, I want to be upfront here. To me, there's a lot more pros than there are cons for someone who wants to live in a place like this, but it's not for everybody. We have people that live in the city that think, I'm fed up with the city. I just need to live out in the woods somewhere, rural, animals, all of it. And they don't understand that some of those cons that for us, we don't really see as cons are actually a really big deal. And it can drive people to not want to live here anymore, to sell their home and get out of town. So make sure you watch through all of these and let me know in the comments if any of these are a deal breaker for you or if this would be perfect. The first major pro is it feels really rural, even though you are close to a major town. Once you get outside of the developments, which only takes a couple of minutes, and you drive down that main road, pretty soon you are surrounded by beautiful green forests, white if it's the wintertime, as you can see, and these really beautiful open 5, 10, 20 acre pastures. And you're gonna see wildlife, you're gonna see cows, and you're gonna see horses, and you're also gonna see a lot of deer and elk out there as well. A lot of people think they want that really rural lifestyle, but when they realize that it takes an hour to go get the groceries, it's not that much fun, especially during the wintertime. So Sagle feeling really rural, but being so close to town is a huge pro. The second major pro of living in Sagle is this is the outdoor lover's paradise. Now I say that about a lot of towns in North Idaho, because honestly, North Idaho is kind of the outdoor lover's paradise, but Sagle takes it to a whole nother level. You have access to the massive Pend Oreille Lake as well as Pend Oreille River, and you have multiple smaller lakes that you can go boating, fishing, and swimming in. You have miles of hiking trails. You have Schweitzer Mountain that is just 20 minutes away. You can even see it from some of the developments, which is absolutely beautiful. Bonner County has some of the best hunting in the area. That's where I got my last deer and bull moose. And Lake Pend Oreille is known for not only its awesome fishing, but it's one of the best spots for sailboating as well. Number 3, you get all of the benefits of Sandpoint without any of the hassle. If you watch my video on Sandpoint, you will hear me say that I think Sandpoint might just be the best town in Idaho. I still think that, but the fact of the matter is you do have to deal with tourism in Sandpoint. Coeur d'Alene and Sandpoint are some of the hottest spots for tourism up here, and I'm not going to complain about it because it does drive our economy, but as far as where I live, I would rather not live really close to a bunch of tourist attractions. That's what's so great about Sagle is Sandpoint's only 9 minutes away, but it is all the way across the Long Bridge, and so you're not going to get the same kind of tourism you do in Sandpoint, but you still get to go enjoy the awesome restaurants, the awesome concerts that they put up there, and access to Schweitzer Mountain. Number 4, and this might not seem like a big deal for you, but I can tell you after living here 30 years, this will become a big deal for you. It is right off of Highway 95. Now, why is that a big deal? Because things in Idaho are spread out. You don't have really a central location that you just drive to and get everything done. You're going to be bouncing around a lot. On average, people put around 15 to 17,000 miles on their vehicle a year because of how much things are spread out. Now, how does that change with it being on Highway 95? Well, you don't have the same kind of commute to get to the main arterial. We don't have a ton of main arterials here. We have a couple of highways. We have one freeway system. So the fact that you can jump on the main road and get onto Highway 95 without hitting a bunch of stop signs and stoplights, that's going to shorten your commute. For me, it takes me about 10 minutes to get on the freeway, and the freeway is not that far away. But because we have 25 and 35 mile an hour speed zones, we have a lot of stoplights and stop signs, it just takes a while, and that can wear on you. So having access to 95 makes it a lot easier and a simpler commute. Pro number 5 of living in Sagle, Idaho, it is beautiful pretty much anywhere you look. Now, North Idaho in general is gorgeous. You have awesome views, but there is something about having a view of the largest lake in Idaho, as well as the best ski resort in the area right in your backyard. It's pretty breathtaking. And again, I've lived here a long time, so to go to a place that makes me go, wow, that's pretty rare. I usually have to go outside of the state to feel that way because I've been around it so long. But living in Sagle, you are just surrounded by forests and lakes and mountains. I mean, it really is, in my opinion, when people think of living in a place like North Idaho, I think this is what comes to their mind. Maybe not, but that's what I think. And a little more on Schweitzer Mountain. It is not just for people who like to ski. They'll have events up there. There's downhill mountain biking, there's zip lining, there's disc golf, really, there are things to do on that mountain all year long. Me personally, I have a ton of memories growing up. My dad and mom used to take me up to Schweitzer. It's still one of my favorite mountains, and having that as a view in your backyard, I can tell you, you're not gonna hate it. Number 6, and some of you are gonna see this as a con, some of you a pro, but hear me out. Sagle allows vacation rentals. Now, Sandpoint, they allow some vacation rentals. They put a really tight cap on how many vacation rentals can be in downtown. I think it's 32. Well, it's not regulated in Sagle, not yet. Now, some of you are going, why would I want a vacation rental next door to me? I will tell you, there's 2 reasons here. The first one is, if you like to go on vacation, long vacations in the summer and or the winter, you don't have to have it be just a money out, just an expense. You can rent out your house and make some pretty good money for that area because it is close to the ski resort and all of the restaurants and beauty. Now, you're not going to get the same kind of penny you will for being in Sandpoint, but you can still make a lot of money. Yes, it takes work. Yes, it takes preparation, but it can really help offset the cost of taking those vacations. The reason number 2 is, if you have parents or in-laws that like to come visit you,
Folks, Merry Christmas.
You don't have to let them stay at your house. You can have them rent, or you can rent them an Airbnb that is just right down the street. Give yourself some of that breathing room and enjoy those people a lot more. Nothing against my in-laws, nothing against my parents. I love them, but let's be honest, space is a wonderful thing. Now, if you watch the pros and go, I don't need to hear the cons, this is the place for me, I just need someone to help get me move there, reach out to me at the phone number or email address listed below. Calls, text, emails, day, nights, weekends, it does not matter. That's why my team and I are here, is to help people, wonderful people like you, get moved to this awesome place. So reach out anytime. Now, let's jump back into reality and talk about the cons of living in Sagle, Idaho. The first con of living in Sagle is there is snow, and more snow. Now, do they get a significant amount more than Coeur d'Alene? No, not a ton more, but the difference is that you have a lot of forest and you have a lot of mountains. And so you're going to get more shade. It's going to stay colder there. The snow does not go away like it does here in Coeur d'Alene. Usually we'll get a snowstorm, sticks around for a few days, and then it melts. Not up there. It's going to stay on the ground quite a bit longer. So if you're not a huge fan of the snow and you don't like to drive in the snow, this might not be the best place for you. Now, it is totally manageable. They do have services that come and clear the road, and you can hire somebody to clear your driveway. You just need to know that is going to be an obstacle for people if you don't like the snow. Con number 2, this is more rural, so it's going to have more wildlife. Now, you're going to deal with wildlife almost anywhere you live in North Idaho, but being in Sagle, being in the Sandpoint area, Bonner County, you do have a lot more wildlife. That was my hunting grounds. That was my honey hole, was going up there. I always got a deer. I got my bull moose up there, but you are going to deal with mountain lions. You are going to deal with bear. You might deal with wolves and coyotes. It's just part of life. Me personally, I love it. I can't get enough of the wildlife, but for people who have a fear of being eaten by a bear, especially if you just watched Cocaine Bear, oh my gosh. Actually, that was a really funny movie. If you haven't seen it, I thought it was funny. Anyway, that's going to be a part of life living in Sagle. Are they breaking into your home? Are they snatching your pets? No, not really. You're going to see them. For the most part, they just leave you alone, but they are going to be around. The third con of living in Sagle, Idaho is you are going to be distant from some major amenities. Yes, you have a Walmart in Sandpoint. You have a small hardware store, but you are a good 45 minutes away from Costco. You are a good hour and 15, hour and a half to the airport. So if you like to go to Costco as much as I do, which is usually about twice a week, I don't know why, I just love it there, or you travel a lot and you need to fly, you got to think about that. It's going to be quite a commute, and when it snows, it can take you even longer. I mean, we have a major snowstorm happening right now. It would probably take me about an hour to get to the airport depending on traffic, and I just don't live that far away. So you need to know, when you live rural like that, yes, you are close to town, but you're going to be far away from certain things that you will eventually need. So just consider that when you're looking at this area. Con number 4 are for my parents in the audience. Sagle has an elementary school, but they do not have a high school. You have to go across the bridge into Sandpoint for that high school, which you're going to be driving over that in the winter. Sometimes that bridge can get shut down, but overall, I think that it's not that big of an issue. It is going to be for some people that need their kid to be able to drive themselves to school, and they are going to look at that drive and go, yeah, maybe not. Just something you need to consider. Con number 5, the closest hospital does not have the greatest reviews. A local lovingly once said about the Sandpoint General Hospital, it's a wonderful place if you're dying. But if you need to get basic services and you need to just go in for checkups, I guess it's not that great. You're going to end up probably going down into Coeur d'Alene to go to Kootenai Health. Now, I have heard talk of a lot of the medical institutes that are down in the Coeur d'Alene area are talking about expanding. I think some of them might have already. I'll have to do more research into that. But if you're someone that needs to go to the doctor quite a bit, you have some conditions that require some visits, you definitely want to consider that when looking at the Sagle area. And con number 6 of living in Sagle, the price of property does come at a bit of a premium. As you can see, the cost to buy a property up there, the median home price $765 compared to Sandpoint's $592. Now it's important to remember that there's not a downtown to Sagle and there's not a bunch of basic homes there. You have developments that are really well done, high-end custom homes that are close to the lake, and you have properties that are on acreage. So obviously you get more for your money out there, but it does come at a premium. If you're looking for that entry-level home on a quarter acre that's going to be under $400,000, there's not a lot of options for that out there. These are higher-end developments with beautiful custom-built homes, gorgeous views right on the lake, or homes on acreage where you can have livestock, you can have your property space to play. So it's definitely not for everyone. But if you do feel like this is the perfect place for you, or you just need help finding the right place in Idaho, reach out to us with a phone call, text, or email, day, nights, weekends. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. And until the next one, I will see you later.